TacTalk with myself, Harry13, and your boy.
It's Claudio.
It's the Claude So today we're here for another episode. We're here to discuss another weekend of challenges on MTGO, and we're here to discuss Pioneer. So Claudio, how are you doing?
Oh, I have been pretty busy, man. But I have not been able to play that much during the week. But I played some of the tournaments this weekend. Did pretty
Oh,
poorly, unfortunately. But
uh,
that's how it goes.
you just hate to see it. Whereas I've been touching grass. I actually managed to go to Loch Ness up north with my partner, and unfortunately we didn't get to see Loch Ness. Sorry, Loch Ness monster, but we did get to see a castle, so that was nice.
Oh, that
Um,
sounds pretty cool.
yeah, it was nice. It was nice to get away for a weekend, but I was itching to get back to play more Pioneer. Missing the Sunday institution challenge was a shame, but here we are. We get to see the results of
Yeah,
what
things
transpired.
just went terribly for me because like on Saturday I forgot to sign up for the event, and I was pretty mad. And
Was- uh,
in the Sunday one, I went 0-2 drop, so
no, not
not
your
a good
weekend, mate.
weekend. Yeah,
No, definitely not. So, are you wanting to kick things off with because you had some thoughts about the challenges over this weekend and what you saw transpire? So, be interesting to hear your thoughts, Claudio. First of all,
yeah. We can talk about the tournaments. Like definitely, we see the trend of the Phoenix deck continuing to show up a lot.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, but we see some interesting developments here, like some spicy decks popping up and making deep runs in the tournaments.
okay. So, I think first of all, we should start by talking about the elephant in the room as always. Like we look at the Saturday challenge, and Phoenix took first, second, and third. And then it placed 4 copies in the top 8. So that's it's still one of those interesting situations where is the deck just too good or is it overrepresented? Kind of thinking it's maybe both.
Yeah, I'm really torn on this one because, like, personally, I don't think like I think the deck is very powerful, but I don't think it's overpowered per se. So it's pretty tough for me to like distinguish between that. Is this deck just really popular, or is it like actually overpowering?
Yeah, I mean, from experience, like I now have like a number of I now have a number of reps under my belt with the deck, obviously, and it just seems to have the capability of like beating any deck. Really, you've got obviously favorable and unfavorable matchups, but like there's just certain. It always feels like you've got a good chance of being able to fight all the decks in the format, um, and it's just being able to like turbo out thing in the ice flip and being able to like put a Phoenix into the graveyard with Consider is just really it's just tough. It's tough to beat, and it's
Yeah,
and
I
it's
was talking
proven it.
about this with someone this week. Like the thing with Phoenix that which I think it makes it a very good deck. It's that it just doesn't have a fail rate. Like the deck just doesn't stumble because of the nature of the deck. Like you just play card draw basically. So you're never going to like not hit your land drops, for example, get mana screwed.
Yeah, that's
You
not.
might need to spin your wheels a little bit to get there, but like you are going to get there.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. You very rarely lose to Manuscrew. Don't get me wrong, I have done it before, but it doesn't happen. Like for example, like within when I was playing Inverted or Truths, like it didn't happen that often. But also like you can just mulligan. The deck mulligans really well now, and I don't think that used to be the case. But see, just like some like combinations of like expressive iteration, there's just so many cards that generate advantage for you that like if you mulligan to 5, you can still get out of that situation. And that reminds me of Inverter where you'd mulligan to 5 a lot and still win because you had such little setup requirements for the combo. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, with Phoenix, you just seem to generate so much like card advantage that you can mulligan to 5 into an expressive iteration, a removal spell, and
But
some lands.
that's kind of a difference, right? Like while you could win from little resources if you're playing Werther, Phoenix is a deck that needs resources. So that's the
Yeah,
angle you can attack.
yeah,
Makes
true.
things different.
I
Yeah.
guess the comparison I'm trying to say is like I'm just talking about raw number of cards in your opener. Like I think like Phoenix just has like like so many ways to generate additional cards now that it didn't have access to before. Like obviously, as I said, expressive iteration is like a big one, and the fact that you can turbo out treasure cruise really early, and
Yep.
also like the cyber plan, the deck's just really dynamic. You have so many ways to um
Yeah, I think if
adapt.
we touching on the point you're making now, I think if we take a look at the list from the Saturday challenge, all of them are pretty different
Yeah,
because like one is even running Giganta. Like Gudukat came in third place, and his build is pretty different. Like if you take a look, he's playing Giganta as a
yeah.
companion for Jason's Prodigy.
Yeah, I tried this build out actually. Funnily enough, well, not the exact build. I tried out the Jace Prince Prodigy.
Mhm.
It was obviously nice in certain spots, but I think it also suffered from it makes you more prone to sideboard plans, and it also like it soaks up a lot of the kind of semi-redundant removal. Um, but like it's a nice card for sure. Like the only difference is like Jason, this deck is less good than obviously decks that have access to black, where you can play proactive spells like Thoughtseize. Whereas, obviously, you've got proactive cantrips, but it's not as diverse in what you can get back. But Gigantha is an interesting one. I just feel like
This looks much better against a deck like Blue White Control for me because you like
mm,
the Jace is amazing there. I think.
yeah, Jace is very nice against them because you can play more Delver threats and force them to Supreme Verdict, use their Supreme Verdicts. Like a lot of blue white players will probably sacrifice the Verdict to kill a Jace that's threatening to flip into a Planeswalker.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
Any other notes here that we might want to make about the other decks? I don't think so, right?
no, I think most of them are like fairly stock. I think a lot of them aren't playing the Crackling Drake plan. They're just the four Phoenix, four Thing and Ice, which um oh no, one's playing two Crackling Drakes. There's a lot of different builds. I think playing three Thing and Ice though is cap in my opinion. Like I don't think you want to
I
play
think
less than four.
it's their best card, yeah.
Yeah, Thing and Ice is yeah, I'd agree. I think Thing and Ice is one of the best cards, if not
Like
the best.
it beats Graver Hate, and it's what makes your creature matchups good in general. Like I think
Yeah,
cutting it is really bad.
yeah, I would never come to the party with less than four Thing and Ice.
Mm-hmm.
That card doesn't really change. The only time you ever really take them like any numbers out is if you're playing against like a black base control deck.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time you very rarely shave Thing Nice. It's just so
But
good.
yeah, I think it's yeah. There's nothing much to say about Phoenix, but it's pretty interesting that all the lists are basically 10 cards off each other. I would say, looking looking at the list right now, like some creatures are different, the spells are a bit different, the sideboard plans are different. So it's kind of a cool thing that there are four copies of the same deck in the top eight, but they are all slightly off from each other.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think the opportunities or the space to explore in Phoenix is very dynamic, and it's also potentially a curse with the format as well because it feels like the deck can very much adapt to whatever people are trying to do to beat the deck.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to bear that in mind going forward into the format. I think yeah. Okay, yeah, I think that's enough of Phoenix. We can I think would you agree that you think it's the best deck in the format now or
Oh, if anything, just by sheer numbers, like the deck is being played a lot and is winning a lot, so I would say that yeah, I think the deck is the best.
yeah. Yeah, it looks like it, everyone. Like it looks like Phoenix is probably going to be the top dog until the next format comes out. But
Honestly, I wouldn't mind in the future if they like when they print some other strong blue cards, they to kind of replace Treasure Cruise so they could safely ban it without hurting decks too much. I think that would be pretty good in general. Like
yeah,
you can keep Phoenix somewhat intact, but the card is obviously becoming a problem over time.
yeah, I think so. I don't know how Phoenix would perform with Dig Through Time instead of Treasure Cruise, but obviously it's one less card.
It would
So
be pretty bad, I think. Dicto Time is
yeah,
a much harder card to utilize, right?
exactly. No, no, for sure. Like one mana, the difference between one mana and two mana in the deck is huge.
Y-
Um, it's
Yeah,
more.
so
Mm,
mhm.
yeah, that's all I have to say about it. I think I agree. I think Treasure Cruise. I would like to see Treasure Cruise getting a ban along with Dig for Time. Um, just because I just think they're too good for Magic, to be honest. And with the printing of Consider, like we discussed this before, that we felt like it could potentially be a problem.
I don't
Um,
think so about Dicto
it's-
Time specifically because it pretty much only displays in the control decks.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's one of those ones that like they're kind of synonymous with being problematic. I don't know. I think like one would go and the other one would just with it just because of that. I don't know. But yeah, I could definitely see a world where Dig for Time stays unbanned. But yeah, Treasure Cruise for me definitely like car's just way too powerful.
Yeah, it's getting there for sure.
Mm.
Now we can like move on here. In fourth
Yeah,
place, I think that this top eight is like in fourth place we have Niv,
yeah. Oscar Franco. Yeah,
Oscar Franco, no non crusher. This like he
Bone
usually
Crusher.
does pretty
Exactly.
well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So
think
what are
this
you
is like
seeing?
usually like the build he likes to play.
Hmm.
I see like the sideboard is pretty interesting. He's playing three voice of resurgence and the notion thieves.
I
So
think
this is like a cohesive plan against Phoenix, I think.
yeah, and I think the Voice of Resurgence is a good card right now because like the decks that are trying to beat Phoenix are blue white control, and I think it's a nice card to play against blue white control.
Mm-hmm.
I also like Notion Thief in that matchup as well. Um, yeah, I think Voice of Resurgence is one of your like really cool cards to play against them. What do you think about the sideboard overall?
Yeah, I think it's like pretty stock. You usually see. I don't agree with the Blood Baron that much. I don't think the card is needed right now. While it's a
Yeah.
good card, it's pretty narrow.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I would just play more Fatal Pushes. I think there's a lot of creature decks. I like this part right now a lot because of Winota. We are going to talk
Yeah.
about that later, I would assume. Yeah, but that's kind of it. Not that much different about this list. Um, so in fifth place we have Pyromancer. This deck was absent from from like the top tables
Yeah.
for a couple weeks. It feels like.
Yeah, I mean, I think the deck is definitely like a tier one deck in the format, worst tier 1.5. Like, I definitely think the deck's very good, but it suffers from the classic like too slow a clock. Like, the games are vastly different when you can turbo out a Croxa. Um,
I think we might see a bit of churn happening, like because we notice getting more and more popular with each week, and this is a fatal push Arcanist deck, so maybe sorry, maybe we can see this coming back.
yeah, I mean, I can see it as well. It has like a reasonably good Phoenix matchup. I don't think the Phoenix matchup is like super favored or anything, but I feel like
Yeah, when I
you'd
watched your games, you felt like pretty unfavored. I like from watching that game.
yeah, but at the same time though, like you can always just like You always have the potential to just draw like a treasure cruise and get right back in the game a lot of the time, or like an expressive iteration.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I think on average you'd expect to win from the ragdoll side, but it's not always the case. It's actually, I think the unfavorable thing about Phoenix, what makes it so popular and so powerful right now, is the unfavored matchups. There's no real heavily unfavored matchup for it. They're all like your worst matchups are like slightly unfavored, I think. And I think this would be one of your considered like worst matchups.
Hmm.
But it's still very winnable. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this list is pretty stock. There's nothing really surprising here, right? There's nothing that really
Yeah,
stands
usually this
out.
deck is not going to change a lot. I think
No.
like our spells are very good, they're very cheap, so I don't think you're going to change anything for the most part.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think yeah, the list is pretty solved, to be honest. Like I think the most recent change was the adoption of glow blanks, due to the nature of how heavily the graveyard's utilized in this format.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean nothing surprising about the deck, but interesting that it's made a top 8 appearance again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
In sixth place, we have, I think, one of the decks which can contend from for the title of being the best deck in Pioneer right now,
Naya
which
midrange, yep,
Naya Winota. Like, I think
by another.
this deck is very good, and it has
Yep.
a good Phoenix matchup actually,
I'm still not certain on that, to be
but
honest.
not by much. I'm not saying like that this crushes Phoenix. I'm saying that this is like a very competitive match.
Yeah, and it's by obviously another
The
very good Magic Online
Magicer.
player. Yeah, the Magicer, very good player. Has put up a lot of
Yeah.
good results in his time, so it doesn't surprise me to see him in the top 8 either. Shout out to Max Magicer.
Yeah, this
Um,
is playing the werewolf card that is kind of stock now.
yeah, the Tovolar is nice. I like this card. I hate seeing it come down against me if I don't have an immediate answer for it. Um, Yeah, just straight up 3 for 3 bash draw a card every time it connects, or you can play it turn 3 after Rangers class and draw a card immediately. It's quite a nice card. What's your thoughts on it?
Oh, I think it's pretty good because now besides like the Winota triggers, like it contributes to the fair plan of the deck, right? You're playing like a
Yeah,
number
yeah,
of
yeah.
creatures and drawing cards, but sometimes with what happens like you play with Nota and you deal a bunch of damage and you refuel your hand at the same time because you're
Yeah,
putting a bunch of werewolves into play. So yeah, I think this deck is pretty good now. You see a bunch of Ranger class in the main deck, the Chariots, so you can grind pretty well. Like it's not
yeah,
Phoenix is not going to keep up like killing your creatures all the time. They need to rely pretty heavily on the thing guys to win it, I think.
yeah. And you look at the sideboard plan; it's basically like a 15 card sideboard plan against Phoenix as well.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what I think it's pretty good. Like you have farming deck Brutal Catars to deal with Thing in the Ice for a while, which might be enough most of the time, like just to buy a turn.
mhm.
And in the sideboard, you have Rest in Peace, Rending Volley,
Yeah, Rending
and
Volley is nice.
Skyclave Apparition if you want that.
Yeah,
And I don't know of Rhetoric. So you are starting to see people play this now instead of the Archon because it doesn't die to Anger of the Gods, I think.
yeah.
In a 1/4.
Yeah. I think that's really smart tech as well. Like, the main issue. Obviously, like one of the main downsides of playing red is your removal suite is the 4 toughness is huge. That's why Thing and Ice is obviously a big problem in the mirror match, and you can see they're playing like maybe Phoenix could start considering playing a Rending Volley or two in the sideboard to kind of combat like this sideboard plan and deal with Thing and Ice more effectively in the
Yeah,
mirrors if you're
I
expecting
think
more mirrors.
that one card I saw some people playing is Blitz of the Thunder Raptor.
Oh yeah. Let me. Is that the deals X damage for 2 mana?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another really smart card.
Yeah, but I think this deck is there's not much to say about this. I think this deck is a killing machine. It's like pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. The only downside I'd say Blitz of the Thunder Raptor, just to go back to this, is like if someone plays Rest in Peace,
Oh yeah,
kind
for
of
sure.
you're kind of like in this situation, it's kind of it just becomes a dead card, doesn't it? But who knows? I definitely think the Rendon Volley could be the one choice as a niche
Um.
sideboard card.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Magister is not playing Voice of Resurgence. I didn't notice that. That's a bit surprising. I think the card is really good in the Winota deck because it makes like people want to keep up mana to interact with the Winota, and Voice makes that pretty
Yeah,
awkward.
maybe he's just valuing cards like dealing with a thing in ice more, or like he's got 4 Eidolon Rhetorics in here and 4 Elite Spellbinders, so I don't know.
Oh, you usually see those in the main deck, the voices, but I think in the voices slot he's playing Selfless
S-
Spirits,
Yeah, Selfless
and
Spirit is a good one though. Like I think Selfless Spirit is like um
yeah,
yeah, it
it's a
just
good,
makes it
good card. Yeah.
yeah, it just makes it really difficult to interact with the deck like cleanly. Kind of like it gives that kind of like spirits vibe to it. Obviously being a spirit itself, but like in that way where it's just hard to cleanly answer the board. So I can see reasonings behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's everything I have to say about this deck.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So yeah, in seventh place we have Phoenix again. Not going to
Yep.
talk much about this. The good stock. And in eighth place we have the return of Bolovo to the
Oh,
top
Return
place.
of the King, the Pioneer King.
The Mono Black Master is back again,
Yeah, with
and he's playing a pretty spicy card, which I like a lot from the new set.
the one you recommended. Yeah, you spoke about this one before, the Graveyard Trespasser.
Yeah, he's playing Chewing the main deck and Chewing the sideboard.
Yeah,
And I actually talked about this list with him yesterday, I think,
okay.
and he said that he would in the future cut Rankles to main deck 4 copies of this card
Wow.
because he thinks that would put the Phoenix matchup over the top. So he actually thinks
Wow.
this deck is good against Phoenix. I mean, it
That's
kind of makes sense. You
that's really
can you
interesting.
can kill Phoenix pretty easy, and your creatures don't stay dead.
Yeah, I mean, having access to the black removal suite is just amazing. Like, I noticed how he's playing Powered Word Kill over the Heartless Act, and I think that's obviously a hedge to deal with Thing in the Ice more easily. Like, I think Heartless Act is actually kind of bad right now because of Thing in the Ice.
Hmm.
So that makes sense. And Blow was a smart guy and a good player. So, this is really interesting decisions. As much as I hate Power Word Kill, it might generally be the most reasonable removal spell at 2 mana for the deck right now. Um,
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think this deck wants to play Infernal Grasp. Maybe
no, I don't
because
think
like
it can
it, you
afford it.
you want to pay life with your castles and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think. I think Infernal Grasp. I thought it
You
was going to
have
be a
Murderous
lot.
Rider, right?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot better than it transpired. The 2 life is just too much in this format as well, I think.
I mean, the
Um,
only deck that could use it really well is Vampires, basically, and that deck is
yeah,
kind of fell off of the map.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's about it. Like for this one, like
Yeah.
Mono Black is a spicy one that showed up, and I don't think either of us was expecting.
No, no, exactly. And I don't really see. I see the classic like one tricks playing the same decks. Like you've got like a few players on their classic like archetypes, and then the only
Oh,
other
did
one
you
I want.
see? Did you see the deck that came in ninth place?
Oh, Sultai Control. Let's have a look. Oh wow.
It's the Jabberwock special.
Oh
Sultai,
wow. It is
Sultai Delirium.
Limrith Desert Doom. Oh my. Oh wow.
Honestly, this deck always looks pretty solid to me. Whenever I try it, it underperforms a lot.
Yeah.
But that
It,
might be me. Like this deck is playing a bunch of good cards. I don't know.
it's very. It's very interesting. I think the 3 city or wayfinder isn't correct though. There's a few like deck building things constraints I have here, but memory deluge, interesting. Yeah, I can see that being played in this deck. Cling to Dust is obviously good, but like, yeah, I'm not sure about 3 city or wayfinders. Surely you'd want to play 4 copies of that card, right?
I'm not really sure because you don't have like cards that get that you can use from your graveyard that much, I think.
Well, you've got like deluge and you've got cling to dust, and you also have like, you also want to get delirium, and you've got delve creature as well. So like, surely you'd want to play 4 at that point. I don't know.
Yeah, but like this deck is pretty spicy.
Yeah, it's nice to see a spicy list doing reasonably well in the format.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
also got they also got 5-0 in a league recently with this deck as well.
Oh, it's nice. I think I played against this person a couple weeks ago. Yeah, definitely a cool
Yeah,
one. Like the deck did reasonably well, so might be
yeah,
something that people want to try.
yeah, and always appreciate people trying out new things in the format. Um, you've also got Andre and his classic
Ascendancy.
4-color ascendancy, but not really convinced the deck's still like tier 1 at the moment. I think it's a tier 1.5 potentially.
Yeah, it's an okay option.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can move on to the Sunday one, I think.
Yeah, let's do that. So Sunday was won by Naya Midrange, won by Winota, which is nice. As I said, like I don't want to see Phoenix taken down every weekend like it seems to be doing these days.
Yeah, this
And
top eight was much more diversified.
yeah, yeah. I see this deck is also playing the Eidolon and Rhetorics over the Archon, which is smart.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing really to talk about in this list. It's pretty standard. Um, I
Yeah.
think we can move past this one. We look in second place. Again, there's nothing really interesting or exceptional going on here. It's just it's a standard
Phoenix list.
yeah, basically. So I think we're okay to move
Yeah,
past
I
that
think the only
one.
thing that we can start seeing people playing Phoenix now is the Fourth Light Phoenix because it's one of the best cards to kill Winota.
Yeah, I think like I've been playing 3 Lightning Axe and a Brazen Borrower, but yeah, I might consider playing the 4th copy.
Because we notice a deck that doesn't give you much breathing room because like well while you're fearing the Winota they're playing chariots and stuff.
Yeah, you need to kind of they're playing like the fair plan whilst you're like basically always holding mana up for the combo,
Mm-hmm.
inverter vibes, etc. Um, so why don't we look at third place because they're playing Burn, right? Which normally isn't very interesting, but see if we look at the sideboard, we notice they're playing 2 Carry Zev expertise, the kind of 5-head play against thing in
Fingers.
this.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
really really interesting.
yeah,
Like
and
in
they're
Burn
playing.
is a deck that we usually say that's favored against Phoenix, and this puts it over the top, I think.
Yeah,
Especially if
yeah,
people don't know you have this in your deck. Oof.
yeah. You're dead. You're dead. It's like
Yeah.
deflecting Pam. You're just dead.
Oh, you see a cool one in the sideboard actually. The Satyr
Yeah,
Fire Dancer.
yeah. I see that.
This is a card that you just used to play in the burn deck in standard back in the day, way back in the day.
Hmm.
So whenever you burn the opponent, you also get to burn a creature. So this is pretty good against creature decks
Yeah, like
because
Winota.
you
This.
you you get to pressure their life total at the same time you kill their creatures.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
when like
nice.
and this is pretty
It's a
pretty
bit.
good. This is pretty good with Swing Blood, right?
Yeah, very good. It's an absolute house. So yeah, I mean this is an interesting
Oh, you
sideboard.
see a main deck chain to the rocks.
That is also quite spicy. I'm not sure about that one, and a main deck Searing Blood as well.
Oh, this. This person is. I mean, I can appreciate it. Like they're trying different things in the deck.
Yeah, of course. They're breaking the mold ever so slightly, as much
Mm-hmm.
as you can with Burn, really. So yeah, shout out to Stan UA for this interesting list. And next spot we've got Hamuda, another well-known player who is playing also Naya midrange, which they're playing Redain in the sideboard. That's an interesting one.
And
They're playing,
Outland, yeah, their sideboard is pretty different. I think the main deck is
yeah,
a bit different as well, right? They're playing Spellbinders in the main deck.
yeah, which I can get behind. Like Spellbinder is a good card in white, so definitely think it's reasonable to play that there. They're playing 3 Eska's Chariot.
I'm not sure I
Uh,
can like. I can see where they made cuts to make room for the Spellbinders, and I'm not sure I agree that much.
okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, but like it's still a really good card. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, no, it wouldn't be the worst decision in the world, do you know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
did they cut, was it 2 Gilded Goose they cut, or?
Now they cut a Toddler's Huntmaster. They're only playing
No,
three,
okay. Okay.
and Chariots and
Yeah, that must be it, right? And, oh, something else, a voice? They cut voice resurgence, right? There's no voice.
yeah, like you see people playing 10 mana dorks now. Usually you were seeing 9 before, and
Mm-hmm.
the ninth one was the Jespera Sentinel. Not
Mm-hmm.
sure like if it's relevant or not. Because now that you don't have Angraf's Marauder anymore, like actually getting a trigger with Gilded Goose is whatever. Like
Yeah.
it because it has 0 power, right? So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah, that's true. That's
And
true.
it's good in the burn matchup because like you can just make food. This deck has a bit of life gain but built in because you have the Innkeeper and the Gilded Goose.
Exactly. So its burn matchup's better, and now you have Redain in the sideboard here that they're playing, which just obviously scavenging ooze as well. Like this, the burn matchup should feel pretty favored. It's kind of similar to Jund Citadel, where you always felt slightly favored against Jund Burn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even if the burn spells ended up being very good removal spells for your creatures, but I don't know. I think you can eventually overpower burn with this.
And like Chain to the Rocks is a terrible answer to Winota itself, right? Because it's sorcery speed.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I mean another Naya midrange deck looks very good.
Yep. I would put it
Uh,
like in the top 4 or 5 decks right now. The deck's pretty good.
yeah, I think so as well. I think it's one of the top decks of the format, one of the top 3 or 4, I'd say maybe. We've got another interesting list. We've got Phoenix by Mogged.
Yeah, this is
Um,
actually listed wrong on Goldfish. It's listed as is it Phoenix, but this deck's not playing Phoenix.
is it Phoenix? More like it isn't Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
So well, I mean, what do we say about this, Claudio? Not playing the main card of the deck.
I think this deck might be built to beat the mirror match.
Yep.
I would
But
guess because you see, like this is like a way more controlling. It's playing Anger of the Gods and Lava Coils.
yeah, not gonna lie, I'm not really sure about this.
Yeah, I don't think I have an opinion on this. Like, but I can see the strengths of this deck uh, that Phoenix doesn't have.
Hmm.
Because like the Phoenix is for example against Winota, the Phoenix don't even matter. You want more interaction and more
Yeah,
more controlling elements.
I don't know. It's kind of spell pierce as well. Like there's just a bunch of like you just don't really churn through your deck that fast with this, I don't think. Like you don't have any ways to sift redundant removal spells as well. Kind of not really high on this, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like
so it's a weird one.
yeah, you kind of have less ways to churn through your deck. Hmm. Appreciate the effort. I mean, they top 8'd with it, so it must have done something
Spell
right.
like three spell pierce is the kind of thing that you don't see for very long because it has a lot. Like the spell pierce is amazing when people don't know you have it in your deck,
Yeah,
but it gets dead pretty fast once people start
yeah.
playing around it.
I think this deck by Mogged is a very much a got you kind of strategy where like your opponents are bringing in like graveyard hate, and then you like
Nice job, opponent. I think this might be actually a very good point because like you play against this game one and you say, oh, they just got unlucky, they didn't find any phoenixes.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
then you
actually a good point.
yeah. So I think this is like a flash in the pan kind of strategy where you just get your opponents throughout the tournament, and then by the time people catch on to it, you just ditch the deck and go back to the normal strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think once people realize that this is what you're doing, then they're going to sideboard differently, and it's just going to be way less effective.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, cool strategy though. Very much
In,
into it.
yeah, in sixth place you have the true spice of the weekend.
Oh, the master.
It's the Master Triosk playing the Mutate deck.
Oh my, I don't even know what's going on here, Claudio. You need to fill the listeners in on this one.
Yeah, so like this is for it's a similar deck for people that tuned into Standard last season because it's using the Mutate cards to combo off.
Yep.
So you have a couple different combos here. You have Vadrock,
Yep.
which whenever you mutate this, you get to play a spell from your graveyard for free, a sorcery.
Oh wow.
So the one of the combos is that you mutate this into something, and in response you cast Double Major,
Mm-hmm.
which spell that copies a creature.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like you cast Double Major copying the Vadrock, you mutate on the creature, and you get to play the Double Major again. So you can copy the Vadrock again, and then you mutate on the creature again. So now the creature is two Vadrocks. So you get to play the Double Major and one extra spell. And this basically is infinite copies, and you start drawing cards with opts. You can start dealing damage with Spikefield Hazard.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like one of the combos. And the other combos are way more convoluted, and I don't understand them that well. But they
Yep.
involve mutating a bunch of things on your Goldspan Dragon to make treasures. And then
Yeah.
you bounce everything with you bounce the dragon to your hand with unsubstantiate,
Yep.
and you just repeat the process again.
Nice.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of articles explaining the combos from the time in standard if people want to catch up. Yeah, but this is and he's playing also like the cool thing about this is that you can play a fairly okay value plan because you're playing for Goldspan Dragon and Omnath.
Yep.
And the Vadrox itself is like a snapcaster in a sense. Like you can use it to play removal spells again, like this playing Prismatic command.
Yeah, I mean, this deck's sweet. I
Yeah,
don't think I'll ever play it because I don't know how to play a deck like this, but for sure this deck looks pretty awesome. Obviously a very good player, so it doesn't surprise me that they can get there with the more difficult strategies.
yeah, I have been meaning to try this week, but I didn't have the time. But this is a very sweet deck.
Definitely a deck to run the Pioneer streets with in the leagues
Yeah, and people are going to be often lost playing against you. Like they're not going to know what's going on
until it's too late.
until it's too late. Yeah, so this is a big strength of a deck like this. It's like a rogue strategy, but it's like
Yeah.
pretty powerful. This has Splinter Twin vibes.
Yeah, it gives me similar vibes to like Vanifer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. And then in seventh place we've got a friend of mine, Nerd Knee Reaper, a fellow Scottish Magic player. Good player. I don't think he plays Pioneer Online too often, but it's nice to see him putting up some results.
Mhm.
With just the classic Spirits builds. Spirits is just a classic of the format. You're always going to see it.
Yeah, it's
And
just a
occasion,
good deck that people like, right?
Yeah, it's just a good deck in Pioneer that it's always going to occasionally rock up to the top eights from time to time, regardless of the format, where it's placed in the format. And then you've got the rogue Daniel Akos, who seems to always be there or thereabouts in the top eight
Yeah.
in Pioneer. Seems to be his format. He plays pretty much just Phoenix, and the deck is obviously doing very well. So no better time to be playing it right now, I guess.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I
and
mean,
like if you see, like there's not like just this again, this pretty stock.
I don't think he ever changes anything in his lists. I think his lists are exactly the same every week.
No, I
I
see
think he's.
some different cards. Like there's a fading hope in the sideboard, which is a
Oh
bit
right, yeah, I see it
bit
now.
weird, champ.
Yeah, the Fade and Hope's interesting. Like, I also like. I think they make interesting decisions. Like, they play like a 1-1 split between Is It Charm and Negate. They play two Fable Passage in the mana base. I don't know if that's good or not. I don't think you really need the Fable Passage support in this deck. I feel like you want to basically maximize your turn one plays a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So personally, I don't really like Fable Passage. I think um you need to play like untapped lands as much as possible. With the exception of Sulphur Falls, because I think Sulphur Falls is obviously very good. Um, are they playing? They're not playing any of the Spikefield Hazards either. Another interesting one. They're just playing 20 lands.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I think Hazard is pretty good right now because it's okay against like it's pretty good against Winota in general.
Oh, you need it for Lanimer else, right? Like I feel like you want like exceptional amounts of those one mana removal spells.
Yeah.
I guess they're playing to play with fire, to magma spray. I don't know. I just not really. I have reservations about their lists, but I mean they top eight a bunch, so they must be doing something right. They're also
Mm-hmm.
only playing three thing nice. Again, I think that's a mistake. I think basically my rule of thumb is the first four copies of any card in the deck is thingy nice, the second's treasure cruise, the third's phoenix, so on and so forth.
Yeah, yeah. We talked about this. We don't agree with playing only three thin guys.
Yeah, that's the conclusion. Don't rock up to the Pioneer Streets with any less than four copies of the thing in the ice.
Yeah,
So
and you see a bunch of like looking outside the top eight. I think that's it about the top eight decks. Like this one was like way more spread out in archetypes. What
yeah,
do you
I
think?
can see that. Yeah, I mean, I see a couple of like hidden strings like creeping up.
Yeah, we see a bunch of like Winota, right? It's like in ninth
Mhm.
and 10th place.
Yeah,
There's yeah, there's
there's a
uh-huh.
five color fires deck in the top 16.
Oh, this was I'm looking at the list right now. It's like the Super Friends deck. This was pretty
Yeah,
popular. Like I feel like this was a really popular deck when Inverter was a deck, right? I remember playing
yeah,
against a bunch of like against Gideon of the Trials, Fires of Invention cards like that.
yeah. This deck was very popular back then because it had access to getting into the trials, which was obviously one of the best cards against Inverter.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like a prison deck with like Teferi Time Raveler, Narset, and Gideon, like the three mana prison.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this deck took a massive hit when Teferi Time Raveler got banned. Um, fair enough. The top 16 is not a bad result. So
Yeah, this deck
it's done
definitely
okay.
has like very unbeatable. Unbeatable is a bit strong, but it has like very strong draws when you get to carve a bunch of planeswalkers into the fires,
Definitely,
and it's playing like the
definitely.
Fae of Wishes sideboard package as well, which with a bunch of bombs in the sideboard.
Hmm.
Definitely like a cool deck. I like to play this kind of strategies, to be honest.
Yeah, I know you do. You love a clunky strategy. You love a
Yeah,
five
that
mana
yeah.
sorcery
This
speed
this
spell.
goes over the top when it's working, and it goes over the top pretty hard.
Yeah. So yeah, Sunday's challenge is definitely a lot more interesting for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Saturdays was also interesting, but obviously the top eight was dominated by the best archetype in the format. Um, Do you see any changes going forward, Claudio, now that we've reviewed the challenges for that weekend? Or do you think?
I think things might be starting to head in a more positive direction because I think that with the rise of Nile, we finally be at a point where the metagame is going to churn.
Yeah.
I don't think Phoenix is going to be thrown out. The deck is like just too good to be to fall off the metagame entirely. But I think if things keep moving in that direction, we might see like a healthier metagame.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I personally, I would disagree with that. I think in terms of, I still think Phoenix is going to be the best deck. However, I think there will be like a healthy amount of decks that have decent, reasonable matchups against it, further coming to fruition. But I still think we will see like 1 to 2 copies of Phoenix in the top 8 every weekend, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, 4 copies is kind of a
I
bit too
definitely don't
much, and
think
then three.
the Phoenix is going away. I just think the metagame has some ability to self-adjust.
Yeah, I think so as well. But I think we'll look back on this meta game and go, yeah, Phoenix was the best deck and probably should have played it more. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but as I said, I'm happy enough with like a deck like Phoenix to exist, so long as when the new set comes out, it changes the meta. I'd only get concerned if after the new set. When's the new set released? Is it November?
Yeah, spoilers start tomorrow, so it's
Okay,
probably
so
like in 2 to 3 weeks, maybe
yeah,
maybe 4.
so long as the new set makes a change and we see Phoenix domination slow down a bit, I'll be happy with that.
And
But
I think it's pretty easy, right? Because if you take a look at even like the most recent sets, a lot of cards had impacts on the format. Like
yeah, exactly.
the Winota deck, like it was a tier 2 deck at best, and now it's here to say. I think.
Yeah, it's definitely tier one. It's probably top. Yeah, as you said, top 3 to 5 decks. But yeah, as I said, hopefully, I hope there's a big impact from the new set, and I hope we do see. I would like to see changes in the meta going forward. I think, as I said, I'm mildly concerned about Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing it and I came to conclusions that yeah, I think it's clearly the best deck, and I hope that changes because as much as I like, playing a deck that's clearly number one, I want to diversify and play new strategies, but Phoenix is kind of magnetizing me to playing with the same strategy. So yeah, I think that wraps up today, Claudio.
Yep.
It's always good to chat Pioneer. It's always good to get people listening and hopefully taking on board what we say and when they go into whatever tournaments they want to play. So um yeah, hopefully next time I'm talking to you we don't have 4 copies of Phoenix in the top 8 and it's a little bit more diverse.
Yeah, I'm hoping for like new vampires to make the deck actually good for the next set. Like it's the vampire set, right? Something good has to come out of it.
I'd love to play more mono black vampires. Really like that. I really like that strategy. Or even if it's red green Rakdos. No, sorry, Rakdos red black. That'd be also be pretty sick. Surely they will. I can't see vampires not being like a very good deck in the format after this set. Really hope it does take off.
Yeah, but yeah, I think we are like having a pretty good grasp of how things are going because like in the last time we said that we Winota was a deck to keep an eye on because the deck was like rising because as I said, I think the deck is on a whole new level now compared to what it was before. So this is pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
yeah, this is pretty nice. I love talking about tournaments.
Me too. Me too, man. It's always good to talk about Pioneer challenges. One of my favorite pastimes. So yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there and see you all again in 2 weeks. It's great great talking to you, Claudio, and I'll no doubt
Yeah,
speak to you again soon.
hopefully we can do like a brewing episode or something when we get the spoiler for the new set. Maybe that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for that. I think we'll definitely do that then. We'll do a brew, our thoughts and what can be played. That'd be great.
Yep. Okay, that sounds
Okay.
pretty good.
All right. Until next time. See you all later.
Yeah. See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.